Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem and invocation. Color Guard, parade the colors. Color Guard, retire the colors. Chaplain Lieutenant Christopher O'Reilly will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we ask your blessings on all of us this morning. If we may single out one request, we would ask you to help us realize all that this ceremony signifies, the opportunities afforded by our country, the gifts of the mind and body you have bestowed on us, and the charge you have given us to make your world, our world, a better place in which to live. We are grateful for these opportunities for development within the framework of our militaries and countries. We ask your blessings on all who are involved in administration and teaching capacities of Naval Postgraduate School. In a special way, we ask you to bless and protect our graduates by helping them to make their branch of service, country, and job a better place to be, and to touch the lives of those around them, especially the less fortunate. We ask these blessings with gratitude for all that you have given us. Amen.
Please be seated. Again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Naval Postgraduate School's fall quarter graduation. Sharing the stage with President Rondeau and Acting Provost Newman is our esteemed guest speaker, former Secretary of Defense and Chairman of the Panetta Institute, Leon Edward Panetta, the chairs of our academic departments, and our local military leadership who have been deeply involved in the education of today's graduates. I would now like to introduce Dr. Jim Newman, Acting Provost of the Naval Postgraduate School.
Good morning. and welcome to you all, but especially to our graduating students and their guests on this 18th day of December 2024. My remarks today will focus on graduation as a rite of passage. For context, I was recently hiking the Garrapatta Loop Trail in Big Sur with some colleagues, including our very own Dean of Students, our Chief of Staff, the Chair of Space Systems, and one of our recent graduates. I certainly hope that you all have some favorite memories of walks or hikes or bike rides or other activities that this area is so well known for. Now, 3 of these colleagues are Navy SEALs, members of the Navy's Special Forces. SEAL stands for Sea, Air, and Land, and they have all completed BUDS training. BUDS stands for Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. And that means that I felt really safe while I was hiking with them, especially as they were kind enough to hike with me rather than going off ahead at full speed. Chief of Staff told me that when you get SEALs together, it is only a matter of time before they start talking about their training, that BUDS training, that sometimes infamous training that they went through to earn their place as a SEAL in the Navy's Special Forces. Formative experiences teach lessons, and I was glad to hear some of their stories. One of my own rites of passage, graduating from astronaut school, which perhaps can also be considered advanced education, was certainly a rite of passage for me. One of the hardest parts of astronaut school was the spacewalk training done in a really large water tank at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Spacesuits are bulky and stiff and difficult to move around in. It takes many hours to learn how to work with the suit. It does no good to fight the suit. The suit doesn't care and will win every time. So we have to learn how to be one with the suit. For my 3rd flight, I was fortunate to be training for the first assembly mission of the International Space Station. It involved training for 3 spacewalks. Our pilot on the flight, a Marine who is also a naval aviator, was the person inside the space shuttle in charge of running the checklist to make sure that we got everything done and stayed on the timeline. And as a good Marine, he was always trying to get us to go a little bit faster. He was also our backup for the spacewalks, a rare privilege for a pilot. That meant he got an abbreviated spacewalk training flow, and we got to watch him on his first spacewalk training exercise. Being a Marine, I think he intended to show us a thing or two, but not having had the benefit of a full training flow, he fought the suit, and the suit won. He came out of the water exhausted and apologized to us and said that we should take breaks whenever we wanted, and he said that he would never rush us again. The lesson from spacewalk training is that often the slower you go, the quicker you get there. This lesson remains important to me. Some things cannot be rushed. Today we celebrate one of your rites of passage, completing an advanced degree at the Naval Postgraduate School. It may not have been as physically or psychologically demanding as SEAL training, but we want your experience here to have been intellectually challenging and for you to have good stories about and good lessons from the experiences you have had here that contributed to your critical thinking skills, your understanding of your subject, and your contributions to the current and future problems of interest to the Department of the Navy, Department of Defense, your home agency, or your home country. As you join the family of NPS alumni, please know that we look forward to keeping in touch with you in the future. As you continue in your careers, whether in military service or in government service or in the private sector, many of you will have the opportunity to return to campus either in person or virtually and share your perspectives and lessons learned and relevant and current information to help our future students in their education as your predecessors have done for you. Let us honor you for your accomplishments, but also honor all those family and friends and faculty and staff at NPS who supported you along the way. Congratulations and best wishes for today and the holiday season. A big round of applause for all of you. Thank you.
I am honored to now introduce the President of the Naval Postgraduate School, Vice Admiral Anne Rondeau, United States Navy, retired.
Good morning. Oh, that's nice. I am not even talked yet, and you're clapping. That's great. Think about what a great job this is and a great environment. The Provost is a physicist and astronaut. He talked about our Navy special warfighters. We have physicists, we have strategists, we have historians, we have all manner of science and technology here at NPS, and we're here amongst the brilliant people who are here. So Provost, thank you, and for all the warfighters here and all the faculty, great job every day. So, good morning. For those of you who have children here who are making noise, great. I always say this, is that those voices and all of those voices are why we are all here. It is for the peace and the prosperity and the ability to live good lives that we are all in service to our nations, and it is great to hear those young voices. So moms and dads, do not feel embarrassed. It's okay. I want to congratulate our graduates today, and to tell you is that we have 250 of you as either in uniform of your service or in your uniform as civilians in the cloth and the capes of your own nations and your own work. It's a great day for you and your families and all of the services and those who paid you to come here, because the next time you go to work, they are who you need to serve because they have made an investment in you. So on behalf of the Provost team and the faculty and the staff and all those who worked really hard to support that investment, we all need to give a great deal of gratitude. Now, some other notes, though, of gratitude. First of all, to the Del Monte brass, these are all volunteers for us. So let's give them a round of applause. Now, I'm going to take some time here to do something we've not done in the past, at least for 33 years. Sonia Solomon, would you please come out on stage? So, this is Sonia's last graduation, and she has done 132 graduations. She has been in government service for 40 years and here for 33 years, and the stories that she can tell about the faculty, the president, and the students is really good. They're all embarrassing. So thank you, Sonia, for your confidence and your. But I want to thank you on behalf of this institution. When we express gratitude, it's for everybody. So let's give her a round of applause. Well, now, while this graduation is not typically our largest, it is yours, and everybody here really matters. So I want everybody to really think about this day as not only the graduation, but also the notion of, again, this notion of gratitude for who sent you here, and the investment and the mindfulness of understanding all of that. So this is a great opportunity. What I want to also, though, say is that this is not the last step of your journey. It's not even the last step of your NPS journey, because, frankly, we would expect that you will come back and reach back and even come back at another time to get questions answered, to try to solve problems. So for all of you, if you're in the middle of a problem and that you know we have some expertise, give us a call. That's what we do. We are intellectually a 911 force. So being in Monterey, it's hard to convince people as to how hard you work. Nice weather, nice golf courses, but it's really important to understand how hard you work. That this is kind of an intellectual crucible of sorts. Wherever you came from for that job, wherever you're going for that job, you need to be mindful of the fact that this was a place that you were meant to be challenged, aggravated at times, but always thoughtful about what you were trying to learn. And part of your job as leaders is to instill that same mindset of inquiry into everybody you lead, whether they are junior or senior to you. You now have now been given the privilege and the opportunity to learn how to have those kinds of questions. And good leaders sometimes have good answers. All leaders should have good questions. And so I encourage you to think about that as you go along. Now, we're always very, very pleased to have senior leaders here, and I'll talk about our keynoter in a minute. But for those who are U.S. students and our citizens of the nation who are here, we need to be mindful that we oftentimes, all the time, have international students here where their countries have sent them. And oftentimes, they often will have their representatives here for various reasons of opportunity to be here. So I want to talk about our guest, and if you would stand when I call your name and stay standing, and let's hold the recognition until after I'm done with the names. So from Chile, Navy Captain Alejandro Rosa. He is the Naval Attaché from Chile. Please, sir, stand. And he is in Washington. From Indonesia, Lieutenant Colonel Ridwan Uni Sutianto, the Foreign Military Sales Officer at the Indonesian Embassy in Washington. Also, a friend of ours who we've seen every time he's had a student here is Prasutyo Hadi, the General Council of Indonesia in San Francisco. Then we have Mahmudin Newt Al-Ghazali, who is the head of the Chancery and the Council for Socio-Cultural Affairs in Indonesia in San Francisco. And to note, for one thing, we're going to have the 104th Indonesian graduate here, and we believe he'll be the first PhD graduate here, so good on Indonesia. From Sierra Leone, we have Colonel Bimba Dimbi, the attaché in Washington. We have from Sweden, Ms. Eva-Lena Lundin. She's the Chief Administrative Officer for the 1st Cyber Defense Unit, and Commander Leif Usgard, the Deputy Commander of the 1st Cyber Unit in Sweden. So please all stand, and let us give you a round of applause. For all of us, remember, NPS is inter-service, interagency, and international. It's great to have you all here. So we want to be able to build those kinds of relationships, and if anybody has read any of the guidance from our government, from the Congress to the White House to the Defense Department to everybody else, those partnerships and friendships and the alliances really matter. And our job as leaders on both sides of that is to grow that, to respect it with dignity, and also to make it grow and prosper for the prosperity of nations globally. The education that we all get here and other places should mature our ability to make good decisions and to advise our seniors about the decisions that they are making. We believe at NPS that those decision-making skills need to be innovative, adaptive, agile, appropriate, adjustable, and all the things that decisions need to be made. So it's really important to be able to talk about and understand those kinds of decisions. So last week, we had Admiral Paparo here, who was the commander of the Indo-Pacific Command. And a comment that he said that stood out for me and a number of us was this: in a conflict in the Pacific, it is not a matter of who wins or who loses. It is a matter of who loses less. And then he talked about the fact that we need to reaffirm the importance of strength, readiness, and the alliances, and of securing peace. But we also need to remember that our first job is the deterrence of war and how we go about doing those things. That's what we're about, how to understand the deterrence of war so that we don't have war inflicted, particularly in the period today. There is no period, and I say this as a historian of my own passions as well as my education, there has never been a time this uncertain, possibly, in the history of humankind because of the effects that even an individual can have on global peace. How do we understand warfare and peacefare in the 21st century? It's really important to understand that. And nobody here should think that they have all the answers, but my goodness, together we can figure out how to solve those problems. So, a person who absolutely exemplifies that kind of thinking is our guest speaker, the Honorable Leon Panetta, the 23rd Secretary of Defense. We're truly grateful to have Mr. Panetta with us, and it is hard to get hold of his schedule because he is continuing to be a man and a leader of thinking who has been able to advise both sides of the aisle in U.S. politics. Before joining DOD, think about one person doing this now. He was the Secretary of Defense, and then he also served as the director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Now, when that happened, I was pretty amazed, saying, "Really? They're going to make Panetta the CIA director?" He was brilliant, and one of the reasons why he was brilliant as both the SecDev and the head of the CIA, because he understood people and how people get things done and fix issues and fix problems. He may be one of the most relational leaders I've ever met in my entire career. So but he's dedicated his life to public service. There's not a man who went from public service then to a high-paying job. He stayed in public service for over 50 years. He has been also not only so the SecDef, the head of the CIA. He was the chief of staff to President Clinton. He was the big money guy. He was head of the Office of Management and Budget, the entire federal budget. And he was a congressman from California, our congressman. And he has known us since he began his life. He is from this region. He is from this part of the state. He is a neighbor, and he's a friend. But most famously, because you've all seen the pictures, it is Mr. Panetta, who was a CIA director at the time, who worked with another NPS alum, Admiral Bill McRaven, when they went after Osama bin Laden. He was part of the leadership team that did that work. And he continues to serve our country. He and his wife, Sylvia, both formed and now lead the Panetta Institute for Public Policy. This is a marvelous group. Now remember, he's in public service, and he brings in high school students and college students to learn about the honor and the work of public policy and of public service. He has served and he exemplifies what it means to be a countryman who is also a global leader, who says both sides have something in their thinking that's good and true. Let's bring that to one place and then solve problems. Please, I introduce now one of the greatest American leaders I've ever known, Mr. Leon Panetta.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anne Rondeau, for that very kind introduction. To all of those who are in the leadership here at the Navy Postgraduate School, to the faculty, to the staff, and in particular to all of the students, but today to the graduates of the Navy Postgraduate School. Let me extend my deepest congratulations to all of you. And in particular, let me extend my congratulations to your families that were able to put up with you going to school and doing what was necessary. You have achieved something very important, not just important to your career, but important to our national security. And your career, in whatever branch you're in, whatever area you're in, your career is critical to our ability to protect our democracy. In the jobs I've served in, I always reminded myself that my principal job is to defend the American people and to keep them safe. And in many ways, that is your primary responsibility as well. So congratulations to all of you for your success and for what you will contribute in service to our country. I'm honored in particular because, as Anne Rondeau pointed out, this is my home. Monterey is my home. I was born and raised here in Monterey. I'm the son of Italian immigrants. My parents came here like millions of others in the early 30s to this country. My dad was the 13th in his family, and he had several brothers who came to this country ahead of him. One brother, his oldest brother, wound up in Sheridan, Wyoming, and another brother wound up in California. So when my parents came, the tradition is you visit your older brother first. And so he went to Wyoming to his brother Bruno, and my mother and he spent one winter in Sheridan, Wyoming. And my mother said, you know, I think it's time to visit your other brother in California, which they did, and thank God they made it to Monterey. My dad ran a restaurant in downtown Monterey during the war years. Monterey was a jumping town in those days, not only because of the fishing industry where they were catching tons of sardines. Cannery Row was the result of that, Steinbeck's Cannery Row. But in addition, we had a military post here in this area called Fort Ord. And Fort Ord was training the young men at that time for the battlefields of World War II. And I can remember, as a young boy, seeing all these uniforms going through downtown Monterey. And my parents would invite some of them to our home for the holidays, this time of year. And I remember as a young boy thinking that these are young men who are going to be in war, in battle. And I never forgot that. As Secretary of Defense, my most important responsibility was to deploy young men and women into harm's way. And that's an awesome responsibility. And I never forgot how those young men that were at my parents' had to go off and fight in World War II for our country. My earliest recollections were standing on a chair in the back of that restaurant washing glasses. My parents believed child labor was a requirement in my family. And after the war, my dad sold that restaurant and bought a farm in Carmel Valley, and my brother and I went back to work on a farm. For those of you that have a farm background, you know the work that's involved. And we did that. My dad planted a walnut orchard. And as the trees grew older, my dad would go around and shake each of the branches with a hook in those days. And my brother and I used to be underneath collecting the walnuts. When I got elected to Congress, my father said, you know, you've been well trained to go to Washington because you've been dodging nuts all your life. A lot of truth to that. But more importantly, Monterey and the Navy Postgraduate School have really been incredibly important partners. And I can remember this school from my childhood and the importance of this school. And as a member of Congress, I remember making clear to Washington how important the mission of this school is, to be able to give our military and those abroad training in the new technologies and the new skills required in warfare. And so we're very proud of this school. And that's what gives me an additional honor, which is that the Navy Postgraduate School, I can say without hesitation, is incredibly important to our national defense because it does provide that critical education that is so important to our readiness. The purpose is to equip you with the advanced skills and technologies and fundamental leadership qualities that are needed in order to protect our nation. And I am very proud of the fact that we, with President Rondeau's leadership, are establishing a Naval Innovation Center here at the Postgraduate School. That will create an incredible partnership with Silicon Valley and with technology companies working together to develop the new technologies that are going to be absolutely critical to our capabilities to protect our national security. So, all of you, and particularly the graduates, are doing something that I understand very important. You're living a dream, living in many ways the American dream. I used to ask my father, why did you travel all of that distance to come to a strange land? They came from a poor area in Italy, but they had the comfort of family and friends. Why would you travel all of that distance to come to a strange country that they knew nothing about? And I never forgot my father's response, which was that your mother and I believed we could give our children a better life in this country. And that's the American dream. That's what we want for our children, and hopefully what they will want for their children. I have to tell you that I'm concerned as the head of the Panetta Institute, trying to inspire young people to lives of public service. I'm concerned about the attitudes that I see, particularly among young people. We do a survey every year of young people's attitudes towards not only life, but the economy and the other issues that we're confronting in our country. And in that survey this year, 71% of the college students we surveyed think that this country is headed in the wrong track. And more importantly, 70% of these students do not believe that they are going to be able to achieve the American dream. They really are concerned about whether or not they're going to achieve the American dream. That's something that we have to worry about, because that dream is critical to success in our society. Look, we live at a pivotal time. Make no mistake about it. I think in many ways, certainly in my lifetime, this is the most pivotal moment in our history, both at home and abroad. Both at home and abroad. And no matter where we look in the world and here at home, there are huge challenges that we must confront, that will test our leadership, that will test our people, that will test our institutions, and in many ways test each of us. Each of us. Here at home, I believe our nation can go in one of two directions. We can either be an America in Renaissance in the 21st century, or we could be an America in decline. I honestly believe we could be an America in Renaissance. Our economy is strong. It is, in the words of The Economist, is viewed by the rest of the world as a strong economy. Our fundamentals are good. We have great creativity, great innovation. I sit on the board of Oracle in Silicon Valley. I see that innovation every day. It's incredible what's happening. Not just with AI, but with cyber, with other technologies, robotics, all of the things that we're developing in the 21st century. We're doing that. We're doing that. And we can teach the skills of the 21st century to our young people. I don't think they have to go fade away because of AI and because there are no jobs. Baloney. They can learn the skills of the 21st century, and we can teach them those skills. We have done that throughout our history every time we've had a major invention. So we can do it again. And we could have two parties, Republicans and Democrats, working together to govern our country. We need two strong political parties, but they need to learn to work together, to trust one another, to govern. That's why we elect them, to govern. And we could be a world leader in a very dangerous world. We could be that kind of America. Or we could be an America in decline. If we allow our hates and our fears and our prejudices, if we allow our divisions, if we allow our differences to consume us, then mark my word, we'll go the way of past empires. That's what happened in past empires. They did not have the leadership to deal with the challenges that they were facing. And so their empires came to an end. The path we take will be determined by the quality of leadership that we have. I tell the students at the Panetta Institute that in a democracy we govern either by leadership or by crisis. If leadership is there and willing to take the risks associated with leadership, and let me tell you something, you are future leaders. You're leaders. You have to understand that in order to lead, you're going to have to make tough decisions. You're going to have to take risks. But you have to do what you think is right. And if you're willing to do that, we can avoid crisis in this country, certainly contain it. But if that leadership isn't there, then mark my words, we will be a country that is governed by crisis. And unfortunately, for the last 15 or 20 years, we've largely been governing by crisis because of the inability and the dysfunction to deal with the challenges that face our country. You want to know what a national security threat is? It's the dysfunction in Washington. And so the fundamental issue there is whether or not those we elect as leaders in our country are going to be willing to sit down, talk to one another, trust one another, listen to one another, and try to come to some kind of consensus about what needs to be done in this country. That's what our forefathers wanted this country to be. They didn't want a centralized power in a king or a king parliament or a star chamber court. That's why we created 3 separate but equal branches of government, each a check and balance on the other, to limit power, to limit power. And so in that limitation of power, it demands leadership. It demands a willingness to roll up your sleeves and do the work that is critical to governing. Do the work that will produce a strong economy, a strong defense, and a strong democracy. And in many ways, the same thing is true abroad. We are living at a pivotal time, not just at home, but abroad. We face a series of threats and flashpoints, more than I think I've seen since World War II. And with those threats, with those flashpoints, I think come opportunities as well. I worked a great deal with Rahm Emanuel when we were in the White House together and continue to maintain our friendship. Rahm made a very important point. He said, with every great crisis, there is a great opportunity. And I think that's true. Without question, there are crises. Without question. We now have an axis of threats in which our adversaries, autocrats, tyrants, are working in an unlimited partnership to help each other be able to undermine democracy in the world. That's going on now. They're working and supporting each other to try to weaken democracy. Putin invaded a sovereign democracy in Europe, something I thought I would never see again. We saw that happen during World War II. A tyrant invaded Europe. Why? Because that tyrant did not believe that people had the right to govern themselves. And that's what Putin just did with Ukraine. Invaded that country. And that's why the Ukrainians are not just fighting for their democracy, they are fighting for our democracy and every democracy in this country. Because the message that we are able to send to Putin is the same message that has to go to Xi in China, to the supreme leader in Iran, and Kim Jong-un in North Korea. There are terrorists in the world, Hamas, Hezbollah, proxies of Iran, who in their own way do not believe that Israel, a democracy, has the right to exist. And so they did everything necessary to try to undermine Israel and weaken that democracy. China, Xi has threatened democracy in Taiwan and has expanded their influence and militarized the South China Sea. North Korea has developed nuclear weapons and missiles and threatens not only South Korea, but the Pacific region and the United States. And now they've sent almost 10,000 troops to fight in Ukraine for the Russians. Iran continues to spread instability, and although they've been weakened, they continue to enrich nuclear fuel, and it brings them closer and closer to developing a nuclear weapon. And you can imagine what a nuclear arms race would do in the Middle East. And terrorism remains a threat to our homeland, whether it's ISIS, whether it's the Taliban, whether it's Al-Qaeda, whether it's Boko Haram or Al-Shabaab. There are terrorist groups that still threaten our country. Add cyber to that, add AI to that, add nuclear proliferation to that, and we are dealing with a very dangerous world. Now, there is opportunity, but we have to take advantage of that opportunity. It begins with the United States. We have to be a world leader. Since World War II, we provided important world leadership, working with our allies to try to protect security in the world. Presidents, Republican and Democrat, believed in the importance of world leadership. And let me tell you something, if the United States does not provide that leadership, nobody else will. And so it's very critical that leaders understand that we have to exercise strong world leadership. I was at the Reagan Defense Forum just a few weekends ago. And the good news is that our next president has embraced Ronald Reagan's statement that this country has to be about peace through strength. Peace through strength. Ronald Reagan understood what world leadership was all about, understood the importance of alliances, understood the importance of a strong defense and strong diplomacy. And if we can exercise that kind of leadership, it'll be critical to our ability to establish strong alliances. In dealing with Russian aggression, it is critical that the United States work with NATO and maintain a strong partnership to make sure that Putin does not succeed in Ukraine. Bringing that war to an end, obviously, is what everybody hopes for. But the only way it can be brought to an end is if Ukraine has the leverage to sit down and negotiate. That's why it's important that we continue to support Ukraine, that we give them the weapons, that we give them the training, that we give them the support they need. They're fighting bravely for their own country and for democracy. If they can develop an initiative, that can give them the leverage they need in order to sit down and truly try to negotiate some kind of resolution. We can do that. Look, the same principle applies to China. You want to deal with China, you have to deal from strength. It's important that we have strong alliances in the Pacific. And we do have. We have AUKUS with Australia, India, South Korea, Japan. I'd like to build, frankly, stronger relationships with the ASEAN countries, some of whom are represented here. Building that kind of alliance is important to protecting security in the Pacific. And if we draw those lines, if we make clear that we will come to defend Taiwan if they're invaded, that we believe that it is important that we maintain freedom of the seas in the South China Sea, that we maintain a strong naval presence in the Pacific, then I think we can negotiate on issues like cyber and AI and other areas like trade in order to develop a better relationship in the future. And finally, in the Middle East, there are hopeful signs in the Middle East. The fact that the Assad regime was brought to an end, and neither Russia or Hezbollah or Iran could respond, is an indication that they've been weakened. Now is that opportunity for the United States and our allies in the region to work together to try to establish the Abraham Accords so that other countries can be part of that alliance and be able to work with us to try to find peace and to try to find a better way for countries like Syria and the Palestinians to be able to ultimately govern and secure themselves. To accomplish all of this requires an America that is willing to mobilize, not just to take for granted our strength. We've got to be able to mobilize to make sure that the U.S. military has both the capabilities and the capacity to deter and prevail in combat. We need to incorporate new technology at scale and field more and higher capability platforms and software and munitions. We need a U.S. defense industrial base that can meet not just our requirements and technology and needs, but those of our allies as well. We need to remove bureaucracy barriers to adopting innovative, necessary budgeting and speed up procurement of necessary weapon systems. We need to develop a multiple theater force construct in order to prepare ourselves for the challenges of the next century. Look, to do that, the American people have to be aware of the dangers that are out there. And although you are, I think beyond these walls, we have an America that very frankly does not understand the kind of threats I just talked about. And so it's going to be necessary to educate America that we need a strong military, that we need strong diplomacy, that we need, obviously, a strong economy and a strong democracy. Look, let me conclude by saying this. I believe in American leadership. Is it being challenged? You're damn right it is. But I believe in American leadership. We have been a country that's been through crisis for over 200 years. We fought a civil war. We fought 2 world wars. We've had recessions, we've had depressions, we've had natural disasters. But somehow we've always been able to find the right leadership to be able to get us through those challenges. Why? Let me tell you why. Because the strength of America is not in Washington. The strength of America is in the communities across this country. It's in the resilience and the spirit and the courage of the American people. That's our strength. That's our strength. And I've seen it. I've seen it in the eyes of our men and women in uniform when I've had to deploy them overseas. And I saw it in the eyes of the SEALs. 2 teams of SEALs getting into 2 helicopters, going 150 miles into Pakistan at night and going after bin Laden. And I'll never forget when one of those helicopters came down because the heat stalled one of the helicopters. I remember asking Bill McRaven, what the hell is going on? And Bill McRaven never missed a beat. He said, don't worry. We've got backup helicopters coming in. We are going to continue with this mission. And I said, God bless you. And because of that courage, because of that commitment, we were able to bring our #1 enemy of the United States to justice. And we sent a message to the world that nobody attacks our country and gets away with it. Nobody. That's the kind of leadership I'm talking about. And it's the kind of leadership I see in the eyes of all of you, the graduates of this class. If you can step up to that challenge of strong leadership, and be willing to fight to make sure that we protect this country, then we can have the American dream, we can have an American Renaissance, and more importantly, we can have a government of, by, and for all people. Congratulations, happy holidays to all of you.
I would now like to invite President Rondeau, Acting Provost Newman, and Secretary Panetta forward for the conferring of degrees upon our doctoral candidates. Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy please stand and proceed to the platform?
Will Naval Officer Lieutenant Commander Zachary Vertis from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, please cross the stage? Lieutenant Commander Vertis crosses the stage and he's all set. Let's see, am I? The title of Lieutenant Commander Vertis' dissertation is Advanced Aluminum Alloy Fabrication Methods Using Liquid Metal Jet Printing and Operational Use of Metal Additive Manufacturing in Support of the Fleet. Lieutenant Commander Vertis' dissertation advisor is Professor Emre Gundez from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Metal additive manufacturing of high-end 7000 series aluminum alloys offers significant potential for unique functionality and high-performance applications. However, challenges like thermal cycles leading to hot cracking have hindered the use of some of these alloys. In his research, Lieutenant Commander Vertis explored how the liquid metal jet printing process can overcome these challenges. By using a high-temperature substrate, the process reduces solidification and cooling rates, eliminating hot cracking and producing defect-free parts. This study also investigates increasing the zinc content, improve mechanical properties, as well as optimizing the printing parameters to balance strength and weight. These are going to address practical challenges to guide future improvements. President Rondeau, I present to you Lieutenant Commander Vertis. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Naval Officer Commander Christopher Landis from the Department of Computer Science, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, please cross the stage? The title of Commander Landis' dissertation is From Policy to Practice, Factors Driving Cybersecurity Implementation Failures. Commander Landis' dissertation advisor is Professor Joshua Kroll from the Department of Computer Science. Implementing system properties like resilience, privacy, and cybersecurity remain challenging despite decades of work. By examining how organizations translate goals into implementations, Commander Landis' research, sponsored in part by Naval Information Warfare Center Pacific, explores how the U.S. Navy and government agencies can better achieve these system properties. This research helps leaders and practitioners better align their goals and actions to strengthen our cyber systems. President Rondeau, I present to you Commander Landis. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Naval Officer Commander Matthew Wayne Walters from the Department of Physics, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Engineering Acoustics, please cross the stage. The title of Commander Walters' dissertation is Experimental Investigation of the Variability and Correlation Properties of Near-Bottom Ambient Sound in a Deep Ocean. Commander Walters' dissertation advisor is Professor Oleg Godin from the Department of Physics. Commander Walters, in research sponsored by the Office of Naval Research, in conjunction with the New England Seamounts Acoustic Experiment, designed and developed 4 autonomous acoustic noise recorders that were deployed in the North Atlantic Ocean, where the Gulf Stream crosses the New England Seamounts. His research revealed unexpected spectral and statistical properties of deep water ambient noise. He also applied acoustic noise interferometry to characterize ocean dynamics in this complex environment. Additionally, he successfully applied machine learning techniques to infer current speeds from flow noise while discovering record-breaking deep water currents. President Rondeau, I present to you Commander Walters. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Engineering Acoustics.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Naval Officer Commander Jonathan Stewart Durham from the Department of Information Sciences, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Sciences, please cross the stage. The title of Commander Durham's dissertation is Evaluation of DoD Information Technology Lifecycle Investments in Core Processes, Telerobots and Large Language Models in Forward Deployed Combat Repair. I think that means he's using AI. Commander Durham's dissertation advisor is Professor Thomas Housel from the Department of Information Sciences. Commander Durham's study addresses the challenge of optimally choosing management methodologies at each phase of the information technology investment lifecycle by assessing the suitability of 6 standard management methodologies to meet the demands of each life cycle phase. The study guides decision makers to make optimized value-aware investments in new information technology where historical information is insufficient for outcome prediction. I think that means he's got to make good decisions without enough information to do so. Thank you. President Rondeau, I present to you Commander Durham. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Sciences.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Mr. Christopher Cirillo from the Naval Information Warfare Center Pacific, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Sciences, please cross the stage? The title of Mr. Cirillo's dissertation is Resilient Topology Control for Directional Network Nodes in Contested Environments. Mr. Cirillo's dissertation advisor is Professor Alex Bordetsky from the Department of Information Sciences. Chris Cirillo's research, sponsored by the Office of Naval Research and NIWC Pacific, developed innovative and architectural designs to enhance the resilience of mobile wireless networks in contested environments. By emphasizing simplicity and drawing inspiration from natural adaptation strategies, Chris demonstrated that multi-sector designs with directional antennas improve network survivability under jamming attacks, and he's available to explain that after the ceremony. This research provides a framework for designing resilient mobile wireless networkers that balance structural robustness and system dynamics, supporting resilience strategies for critical communication systems. President Rondeau, I present to you Mr. Christopher Cirillo. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Sciences.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Indonesian Naval Commander Bagus Jetmiko from the Department of Information Sciences, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Sciences, please cross the stage? The title of Commander Jetmiko's dissertation is The Effects of Knowledge Transfer Technology Utilization on Inter-Organizational Performance with the Mediating Roles of People and Organizational Structure. Commander Jetmiko's dissertation advisor is Professor Shelley Gallup from the Department of Information Sciences. Commander Jetmiko's research, sponsored by the Indonesian Navy and Indonesian Endowment Fund for Educational Agency, explores how the use of information and communication technology, along with organizational support and the involvement of people, affects the performance of organizations working together. It focuses on the implementation of information and communication technology in the Indonesian maritime security domain, which faces challenges in quickly and reliably sharing information among various organizations. This is a problem in many government and public institutions, and his findings are expected to lead to improved policies and improved inter-organizational performance. President Rondeau, I present to you Commander Jetmiko. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Sciences.
And might I say that was in a language not of his origin, By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Naval Commander Christian Richer from the Department of National Security Affairs, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Security Studies, please cross the stage. The title of Commander Richer's dissertation is Short of War, Great Powers, Naval Interventions, and the Gray Zone Between War and Peace. Commander Richer's dissertation advisor is Professor Daniel Moran from the Department of National Security Affairs. In research intended to inform modern debates about strategic rivalry short of war, Commander Richer conducted historical analysis of 3 cases of naval intervention by neutral powers in 20th century conflicts: British interventions in the Spanish Civil War, U.S. intervention in the Battle of the Atlantic, and U.S. intervention in the Iran-Iraq War. Commander Richer's dissertation argues that great powers used malleable forms of neutrality to pursue strategic objectives without a direct resort to war. But the intervening powers had to accept significant risk and limited use of armed force. The dissertation applies the lessons of past interventions to the modern naval conflicts in the Black and Red Seas and recommends careful consideration of the complex historical record to help inform ongoing debates for Western naval intervention. President Rondeau, I present to you Commander Richer. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Security Studies.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Engineering, and Master of Human Systems Integration please stand?
President Rondeau, I present to you these candidates. After consideration of their academic accomplishments, the Academic Council will recommend them for their master's degrees as specified.
Upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I will, by the authority vested in me, confer upon them their masters in as specified, with all the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Yay.
Will the first row of candidates please proceed to the platform? Remaining candidates, please be seated. Of this quarter's graduating class of 248 students, 108 of them have also earned their Command and Staff Diploma from the Joint Professional Military Education Program sponsored by the Naval War College and from the United States Marine Corps College of Distance Education and Training. Graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Middle East, South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, and with distinction, Major Everett Haney, United States Army. Received with distinction, Major Edward McFadden, United States Army. Major Brett Christensen, United States Army. Major Keegan Peckham, United States Air Force. Graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, East Asia and Indo-Pacific, Major Jennifer Weaver, United States Army. Major Craig Dolhai, United States Army. Captain Savneet Bajwa, United States Army. Lieutenant Mary Riley Hayulbig, United States Navy. Lieutenant Keenan Luciani, United States Navy. Lieutenant Esteban Andres Salazar, United States Navy. Lieutenant Srirag Sarma, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Kristen Brinkley, United States Navy. Captain Ryan Best, United States Air Force. Received the Captain David S. Bill Jr. Leadership Award and the Naval Postgraduate School Superior Service Award, Major Andrew Van Genderen, United States Air Force. Major Yosep Kim, Republic of Korea Air Force. Graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Western Hemisphere, Lieutenant Catherine Lindman, United States Navy. Major Adrian Ramirez, United States Air Force. Graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Europe and Eurasia, Lieutenant Michael Bohm, United States Navy. Lieutenant Corey Hill, United States Navy. Receiving the Naval Intelligence Foundation Admiral Bobby Ray Inman Award for Excellence in Intelligence and the Louis D. Liskin Award for Excellence in Regional Security Studies, Lieutenant Michael Martinek, United States Navy. Lieutenant Robert Teavee, United States Navy. Captain Hunter Behrens, United States Air Force. Received with distinction, recognized for an outstanding thesis, and received the Foreign Area Officer Association Award for Excellence in International Affairs, Captain Kirsten Cullinan, United States Air Force. Captain Ryan Strahl, United States Air Force. Major Vitaly Benz, United States Air Force. Received with distinction, Major Christopher Karunen, United States Air Force. Graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Civil Military Relations, Major Pedro Santos, Brazilian Air Force. Recognized for an outstanding thesis and graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Strategic Studies, Major Mark Salzer, United States Army. Captain Kihunim, Republic of Korea, Army. Major B. Yangyung Jong, Republic of Korea, Air Force. Graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Strategic Studies, and recognized for an outstanding thesis, Colonel Osama Abduhani, Royal Jordanian Air Force. Graduating with a degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Homeland Security and Defense, Colonel Bill Pasha, Philippine Marine Corps. Lieutenant Thomas Dunleavy, United States Navy. Lieutenant Joshua Dusing, United States Navy. Received with distinction, Major Nathan Hartoin, United States Air Force. Graduating with a degree, Master of Arts in Security Studies, Combating Terrorism, Policy and Strategy, received the International Student Award for Excellence in Regional or Security Studies, Captain Mahota Ja, Sierra Leone Army. Received the Air Force Association Award for Advancement of Aerospace Studies and was recognized for an outstanding thesis, Colonel John Jock, Cameroon Army. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Commander Everlyn Joregi, Kenyan Navy. Graduating with a degree, Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, Lieutenant Joshua Gabriel Cohen, United States Navy. Lieutenant Peter Shen, United States Navy. Lieutenant Lynette Vanessa Civils, United States Navy. Lieutenant Andrew Spitzer, United States Navy. Lieutenant Dominic Anthony Tranchitella, United States Navy. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Applied Mathematics, Captain Daja Treese, United States Army. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Meteorology and Physical Oceanography, and received the Oceanographer of the Navy Award for Outstanding Academic Performance in Meteorology and Oceanography, and received with distinction Lieutenant Commander Meredith Aubrey Ansley, United States Navy. Received the Jack J. Jensen Meteorology and Oceanography Award, Lieutenant Commander Taylor Byrne Hudson, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Amina Marie Johnson, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Daniel Kilmartin, United States Navy. Lieutenant Daniel Lawrence Peterson, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Stuart James Olson, United States Navy. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Applied Physics, and received the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory Award for Excellence in Applied Physics Research, Lieutenant Adam Stephen Bebo, United States Navy. Ensign Jake Lawrence Colvin, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Commander Cristian Soro Encalada, Chilean Navy. Ensign Tanner Jacob Weaver, United States Navy. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering, Ensign Reed Newman, United States Navy. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Astronautical Engineering, Lieutenant Jeremy Lopez Vasquez, United States Navy. Received the Space Systems Engineering Award for Academic Excellence and with Distinction, Lieutenant Kelly McQuiston Sharilla, United States Navy. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Lieutenant Trey Fullylove, United States Navy. Also graduating with a degree Master of Science in Applied Mathematics, Lieutenant Richard Sadumiano Gunong, United States Navy. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Applied Mathematics, Lieutenant Joel Hunter, United States Navy. Ensign Orson Isaac Aquino Reyes, United States Navy. Received with distinction and recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Alan Wayne Rogers, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Miles Smith, United States Navy. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Systems Engineering, Major Meron Lev, Israeli Air Force. Lieutenant George Gilbert, United States Coast Guard. Received with distinction and received the Naval Sea Systems Command Award for Excellence in Systems Engineering, Lieutenant Dominic Stephen Barbusa, United States Navy. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Systems Engineering, Mr. Nolan Budd, Naval Air Warfare Center, Weapons Division. Mr. Taylor Knight, Naval Air Warfare Center, China Lake. Mr. Michael LaBarbera, Naval Air Warfare Center, Weapons Division. Mr. Christopher James Quattrochi, Program Executive Office, Unmanned and Small Combatants, PMS 501, Littoral Combat Ships. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Systems Engineering Management, Major Joseph Amendo, United States Army. Major Nathan Christensen, United States Army. Major Sadiq Hassan, United States Army. Captain D. Jones, United States Army. Received with distinction, Major Stephen Lohman, United States Army. Congrats. Major Brian Jacob Robbins, United States Army. Congrats. Captain April Sutherland, United States Army. Received with distinction, Lieutenant Brendan Metcalf, United States Navy. Graduating with the degree Master of Human Systems Integration, Lieutenant Commander James Revel, United States Navy. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Applied Design for Innovation, Major Michael Lamar, United States Army. Major Walt Snook, United States Army. Major Istvan Lakatos, Hungarian Special Operations Forces. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Defense Analysis, received the Marine Corps Association Superior Service Award for Outstanding U.S. Marine Student and with distinction, Major Michael Cariello Noblet, United States Marine Corps. Gunnery Sergeant Jacob Hopper, United States Marine Corps. Colonel Charlie Corona Banaag, Philippine Army. Received with distinction and received the Association of the United States Army General Joseph W. Stilwell Chapter Award for Outstanding Army Student, Major Cody Chick, United States Army. Major Joseph Zarnick, United States Army. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Major Robbie Edgen, United States Army. Major Louis Alfred Flores, United States Army. Received with distinction and recognized for an outstanding thesis, Major Kyle Fry, United States Army. Major Julian Holmes, United States Army. Major Mattis Keys, Estonian Defense Forces, Army. Major Pius Kim, United States Army. Major William McCarty, United States Army. Major William Mills, United States Army. Major Brendan Nowday, United States Army. Major Brendan Olet, United States Army. Major Richard Owen, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Abdelhadi Ubal, Moroccan Royal Armed Forces, Army. Major Brendan Richard, United States Army. Major Kyle Schultz, United States Army. Major Marvin Starkweather, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Alam Hani Suleiman, Royal Jordanian Army. Major Francis White, United States Army. Major John Jason Williams, United States Army. Lieutenant Commander Rafael Baptista Matos dos Anjos, Brazilian Navy. Major Timothy Marte, United States Air Force. Major Christopher Rausch, United States Air Force. Major Robert Strain, United States Air Force. Major Zachary Turner, United States Air Force. Captain Michael Butko, Armed Forces of the Slovak Republic. Recognized for an outstanding thesis and received the Naval Postgraduate School Outstanding Academic Achievement Award for international students, Captain Arungbut Choijamps, Mongolian Armed Forces. Lieutenant Colonel Gantumur Erdoulan, Mongolian Armed Forces. Congrats. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Major Christian Fast, Swedish Armed Forces. Thank you. Lieutenant Colonel Johann Orenberg, German Armed Forces. Received the Naval Postgraduate School Outstanding Academic Achievement Award for Civilian Student, Mr. John Willingham IV. Graduating with a degree, Master of Science, Information Strategy and Political Warfare, Major Travis Hodge, United States Army. Received with distinction, Major Michael Trent Schill, United States Air Force. Received with distinction and received the Air Force Association Award for Outstanding United States Air Force Student, Major Zane Stedman, United States Air Force. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Major Per Henrik Stenlund, Swedish Armed Forces. Graduating with a degree, Master of Science in Computer Science, Lieutenant Noah Karam, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Theodore Beauregard Falk, United States Navy. Congrats. Graduating with a degree, Master of Science in Cyber Systems and Operations and with distinction, Lieutenant Aaron Leatherman, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Commander Chang Yong Lee, United States Navy. Received the Fleet Cyber Command Award for Academic Achievement in Cyber Operations, Lieutenant Nicholas Campbell, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Mark Wren, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jason Darby, United States Navy. Chief Petty Officer Craig Markham, United States Navy Reserve, retired, Defense Manpower Data Center. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Defense Contract Management and recognized for an outstanding thesis, Captain Matthew Butte, United States Marine Corps. Received the Commander Philip A. Murphy Sweet Memorial Award for Excellence in Acquisition, Captain Nathan James Jervis, United States Marine Corps. Captain Gang Moon Jung, United States Marine Corps. Captain Adam Clawwitter, United States Marine Corps. Captain Piper Yankoviak, United States Marine Corps. Major David Paul Hakela, United States Army. Captain Jung Ryan Lee, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Tran Nguyen, United States Army. Captain James Reynolds, United States Army. Received with distinction and received the Army Acquisition Corps Award for Scholastic Achievement, Master Sergeant Jason David Shettles, United States Army. Lieutenant Commander Alex Cherry, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Daniel Dulac, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Derek Floyd, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Data James Jarugo, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jordan Legaspi, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Joe L. Anderson Sam, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Darius Staton, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Andrea Villarreal, United States Navy. Lieutenant Adam V. Skerber, United States Navy. Major Indigo Day Blakely, United States Air Force. Received with distinction, Captain James Blankenship, United States Air Force. Captain Tristan Mitchell Halbert, United States Air Force. Captain Adam Heilig, United States Air Force. Captain Davin Johnson, United States Air Force. Captain Ryan Kester, United States Air Force. Captain Monet J. McNair, United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Philip Warren Napier, United States Air Force. Senior Master Sergeant Anna Elizabeth Reyes, United States Air Force. Captain Kevin John Sheedy, United States Air Force. Captain Luis Arnaldo Soto Rodriguez, United States Air Force. Captain Ryan Whiteganent, United States Air Force. Received the Assistant Secretary of the Air Force Acquisition Award for Academic Excellence, Captain Grant Wilson, United States Air Force. First Lieutenant Jonathan Woods, United States Air Force. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Defense Program Management, Captain Dominic Christopher DeCirio, United States Marine Corps. Received with distinction, Captain Sean Fitzpatrick, United States Marine Corps. Captain Jeremy Wayne Hilberry, United States Army. Major Krista Ann Lukenbach, United States Army. Major Tyle Tripop, United States Army. Captain Tiffany Leilani Raquel Turner, United States Army. Lieutenant Maynard Monahan, United States Navy. Captain Adam Raymond Zelenka, United States Air Force. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Defense Logistics Management, Lieutenant Commander Adrian Ibanez Copiaco, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis and received the Rear Admiral Donald R. Eaton Logistics Award for Outstanding Achievement, Major Christopher Adamski, United States Marine Corps. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Captain Timothy Bieger, United States Marine Corps. Captain Paul Christian Carney, United States Marine Corps. Recognized for an outstanding thesis and received the Louis D. Liskin Award for Excellence in Defense Management, Captain Patrick DeSono, United States Marine Corps. Gunnery Sergeant Alyssa Jane Falge, United States Marine Corps. Received with distinction and recognized for an outstanding thesis, Captain Joshua Robert Ingram, United States Marine Corps. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Captain William Lewis Marr, United States Marine Corps. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Gunnery Sergeant Jika Tala'a, United States Marine Corps. Captain Julie K. Vogel, United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Commander Song Kang, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Andrew Ryan Kirk, United States Navy. Lieutenant Junior Grade Danielle Rose Joaquin Naldoza, United States Navy. Lieutenant Jonathan Oliva, United States Navy. Lieutenant Courtney Thrasher, United States Navy. Graduating with a degree Master of Science in Defense Financial Management, Captain Kendall Good, United States Marine Corps. Captain Jordan Korengold, United States Marine Corps. Master Sergeant Glenn Miller, United States Marine Corps. First Lieutenant William Rapagnani, United States Marine Corps. Captain Joel Alton Stark, United States Marine Corps. Captain Russell Wedger, United States Marine Corps. Received with distinction, recognized for an outstanding thesis, and received the Naval Supply Systems Command Award for Academic Excellence, Lieutenant Commander Chi Zhen Bao, United States Navy. Lieutenant Rosanne Belton, United States Navy. Lieutenant Ashley Marie Clavet, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Barbara Conley, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Candy Dicoto, United States Navy. Lieutenant Charles Klatt, United States Navy. Lieutenant Kevin Leibrock, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Diana Mang, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Brandon McGilkey, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Daniel Redden, United States Navy. Lieutenant Daniel Jesus Smith, United States Navy. Received with distinction, recognized for an outstanding thesis, and received the Tyler National Security Research Award, the Surface Navy Association's Award for Excellence in Surface Warfare Research, the Department of the Navy Award for Academic Excellence in Financial Management, the Conrad Scholar Award for Distinguished Academic Excellence in Financial Management, and the Distinguished Professor Kenneth J. Yusko Dean's Medal for Innovative Contribution to National Defense and the Department of Defense Management, Lieutenant Adam Matthew Summers, United States Navy. Lieutenant Stephen Joseph Tomasello, United States Navy. Received with distinction, recognized for an outstanding thesis, and received the Tyler National Security Research Award, the Surface Navy Association's Award for Excellence in Surface Warfare Research, the Department of the Navy Award for Academic Excellence in Financial Management, the Conrad Scholar Award for Distinguished Academic Excellence in Financial Management, and the Distinguished Professor Kenneth J. Yuska Dean's Medal for Innovative Contribution to National Defense and the Department of Defense Management, Lieutenant Jordan Whittle, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Junior Grade Hannah Mae Wilson, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Dustin Trimble, United States Naval Reserve. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Management, Manpower Systems Analysis, Lieutenant Ashley Gutierrez, United States Navy. Graduating with the degree Master of Science in Logistics Information Technology, Lieutenant Commander Joshua Croft, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Commander Benjamin Finley III, United States Navy. Recognized for an outstanding thesis, Lieutenant Commander Benjamin McLaury, United States Navy. Now, please join me again in giving all of our graduates a well-deserved round of applause. Please stand as Chaplain O'Reilly delivers the benediction.
Receive these parting words. God, we ask your blessings as we conclude this ceremony. Bless us with the realization of how precious life is, and help us fill each day with beautiful memories of sharing with and assisting others, and of using the talent you have given us. This we ask with confidence in your heavenly name, and we say together, amen.
Thank you, Lieutenant O'Reilly. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's graduation ceremony. On behalf of the President, Provost, and all of us at the Naval Postgraduate School, I would like to once again thank you for being here today. We also offer our sincere appreciation to the Naval Postgraduate School Color Guard and the Del Monte Brass. Please remain clear of the aisles until the platform party and faculty have departed. And on behalf of the Naval Postgraduate School Foundation, I would like to invite graduates, faculty, and guests to a reception in honor of the graduates in the Barbara McNitt Ballroom of Herman Hall immediately following the ceremony. May you all have a safe and joyous holiday season.